But you gotta, yeah, you're right. They're not. But in a matchup where if it potentially can get to that later stages, then there's still going to be an angle here for the Pudge in this matchup. So I think for Talon, the support itemization needs to be, I think, defensive. You're probably hoping for like a 4-staff, but I mean, you don't particularly get that out of your Earthshaker until really later on, because Entity is just going to jump on one, blow them up, and then continue to go from there.
So I'm gonna talk some hopium here, coming through from Talon, because what Entity did in game 1, it wasn't necessarily KP pure. He's thinking about it. Leveled up the hook. It might be able to claim it still. That hook range still right on the edge. Yeah, the stun potentially into the setup. They may be saying, hey boys, we might be able to get a quick pick here, but maybe thinking that they've got the high ground ward. Not going to be the case. All right, hopium time.
30 seconds to back.
This is not good. We're saying, is there? Hang on. Okay, Talon have
let
a
me
51%
speak.
chance. I just
you wanted to see the 0-minute win probability? Is that what you were looking at?
Well, I mean, it favors Dire, so I'm down for the hopium. Let's go.
Okay. So if Talon are able to beat this draft, this is the definition of an entity draft. This is the definition of an entity draft, right? That could be demoralizing going into game 3. They just did it on entity to Talon. I mean, it was pretty Talon feeling, right? Savage on the Pudge. You give a carry style hero over to Mikoto. KP able to play much more of that aggressive style, and you beat it. And you made them look a little bit silly going into the later stages doing so. But now if you're able to turn that around, be able to get the win on your end, then maybe things start to turn a little bit more in your favor. And going into that game 3, Entity start to doubt themselves a little bit. You might get the draft edge.
All right. It's all going to have to start off the back of Mikoto. Leshrac needs to have a strong lane into Storm's Visage, something that he is incredibly comfortable on. Mikoto has a lot of lanes that he can rotate to, playing with some stuns in the side lanes, and I think the Earthshaker's rotations to secure power runes are going to be important. An Entity will not be able to really address the Leshrac until he gets BKB, so game's on Mikoto for him.
Even Q was trying to get in position with the Fisher there to be able to make first use out of this metamorphosis. Savage should be able to get a few trades here with Toby, but of course Marcy pretty tanky, good movement speed, good HP pool, good armor, good right-click damage. It's just good at everything.
I like the setup that we have here with the Maledict into Pure, kind of playing high down bottom with KP. These are two really strong laners. I wonder if Pure is actually going to have a bit more of a difficult time than they would have initially expected with this Pudge pick.
Yeah, I mean, Maledict's always good at being able to deal with those high HP heroes, but I mean, the Flesh Heap deals with a lot of that damage over time that's coming through as well, right? So it really does go either way.
They say Maledict is the tank killer?
Yeah, but a little bit less so the Pudge, just because you've got that inbuilt damage block, you know? Even just the Dawnbreaker, a lot of that damage comes through from the Celestial Hammer burn.
You see the Imber tank, he's just unkillable.
Oh yeah.
Who would have thought we'd see a day where TI Pudge is being played as a position 1? Some people coming back into Dota and then all of a sudden they see a Pudge farming in the safe lane.
Oh, here we go, Pudge.
This might be an opening, yeah.
Unkillable,
Went to
maybe.
the range creep. A couple of bounces gonna pay off, but Kataomi holding the stun until KP plays around with the Starbreaker. So we'll instantly be able to cancel that, buying enough time for Pure to get out.
Making sure to make best use out of the magic stick, popping it right before the tick of the Maledict, making sure to minimize the damage that he's taking. Of course, he still needs to secure that farm for himself, so can't afford to put too many points into the Flesh Heap early, and they're actually going to get the hook back onto Hyde. No mana on Kataomi. Oh, and a lucky bounce.
First blood. Oh, the creep's got it. So the gold's going to be split between the two. Ishuaya finding that little bit of extra experience in gold to potentially help out. Top lane Q will take some damage himself as well, but a fissure. So holding Toby away.
We're going quite well in game number 1 as well for Talon coming out of the laning stage. I believe all 3 lanes were in their favor. And they had that Morphling to deal with in the late game. Not so much of the late game issue that they've got on Talon this time. Well, actually, Savage worried about the laning stage for now.
Yeah, look at the beautiful setup they have. Cold Feet's going to find the proc, and Entity strike back. And we also in the other lane, Hyde's also going to go down. Kataomi under the tower. Wasn't even the hook as well to be able to secure the kill. How'd he get there?
Feeling confident off the back of the first blood that they were able to get. I was looking at top as well, so I didn't see it. Still though, 2 kills going away. Mikoto, slight lead over Stormer, but this is a hero that absolutely loves to play off of those levels, especially if you can get into the early level 6. It means, you mentioned previously that Mikoto is going to have the capability to make some solid rotations and maybe connect on some kills, particularly towards bottom, but this is not a lane that you want to leave, even though Stormer doesn't have that same rotation potential. If you move away, he's just going to start taking your tower.
Movement have to be so goddamn fast if the Lesh is ever going to consider about leaving this lane. Having a Stormer in an open time just to be able to put some damage in the tower really could be a big issue here for Talon. You get an early T1 tower mid, then all of a sudden the map just opens up.
Yeah, maybe on the back of a lucky power rune, not just the side that you're able to protect, but also a haste rune would probably be the best case scenario for Mikoto. Going in deep again onto Pure, bottom side, lots of damage coming through, but he's got the full magic stick available if they wanted to go for this turnaround, and they land it.
They do. Pure's able to sidestep. Meanwhile, Kataomi's still getting some decent amount of damage out of Hyde. And they'll continue to chase him down. Another stun coming up shortly, though, from the Sven, so Hyde's going to be a bit cautious.
He's got the raindrops,
KP,
so he'll be alright. Pushing him back underneath the tower. No way Pure to die when he's all the way back there. Maybe a secondary use, and, well, even just emphasizing the raindrops on KP's side as well. They know that they need to be casting their spells fairly frequently in this lane if they're going to be slowing down Pure's Pudge at all. Even just pump faking the hook right now. They're gonna go for another one.
See if they're going to be able to kill him off this time, though. Kataomi again with the Stormhammer is going to prevent Talon from going for this deep dive attempt, and he might end up going down. KP dancing through the tree line, but look at the Sven, knows exactly where the Dawnbreaker is chasing himself away. He'll get some distance, maybe they'll go for the easy kill in Hyde. A bouncer's only delaying this, and they'll give the kill over to Pure.
He was getting a little bit tired of farming right underneath the safety of his tower. Just wanting to back off. Be a little bit safer about it. Was even able to secure that siege creep as well during that team fight, so giving him a nice little XP boost, and now sitting down here all on his lonesome. Gonna look to shove the lane in, and, well, that enables Kataomi to make a move elsewhere.
It's really important that Talon didn't get this power in for Mikoto. Although they are still going to rotate some members. Fissure's off the mark, but it does at least put the ancient apparition into an awkward position. They will be able to secure the kill onto Fishman.
And they deal with the siege creep as well, so that early scary timing around the Visage Familiars isn't going to be quite so bad. Gives some space for Savage as well. Terrorblade, you want to be sticking into a lot of these lanes if you're playing on Entity, and for someone like the Terrorblade with the high armor, even on the illusions. Oh, they're going to go for a kill onto him though.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Savage. Coldfeet proc's going to be there. Fissure should be able to disrupt it for the moment. Instead, he's actually going to charge on forward to Fishman. They're relying on the body blocks. Q's doing a pretty goddamn good job at the moment, and Q helps secure the kill thanks to the illusion. So beautifully done from Talon. He might not be able to get out though, as Toby continuing to chase him through the tree line. Another fissure up shortly here from Qf will be used for
fancy
get
footwork.
some distance. In fact, all right, Q just steps on out, and now a lot of damage into the tower as well with the catapult.
Yeah, have to be careful about overstaying your welcome though on Savage. Sitting down at half HP, realizes that they are going to want to put a lot of pressure in on top of him, so leveling up the Sunder instead of going that full farm efficiency route. They're going to go for another kill here onto Pure. No, nothing for it to be able to bounce to though, but they don't get the interrupt onto KP. Previously, Kataomi has been pretty good at being able to save the Stormhammer for the Starbreaker. But Pure, still healthy enough that he's going to be able to back off.
Another power rune spawning shortly as well. And they're going to be two members nearby to try and secure this. The 50-50 will go Talon's way. It's like an invis for them now to play with.
Still though, you don't really want to be leaving the lane, do ya? Mikoto just positioning himself back here. Again, still going into the Bloodstone despite the Ancient Apparition. So you're going to need to get some super deep dives in onto the backline, and they don't really have the heroes to be able to do it. Wonder if they might go for a kill here onto Kataomi. Leave the Observer Ward, scouted out his position, so Pure, he's going to walk back away towards the left-hand side of the jungle and scout out all of this movement. Nice ward coverage coming through there from the Sven on Entity.
Invisibility.
Oh, they didn't even see the observer ward
Top tower
that
is
was
under
placed
attack.
down in the mid lane, despite the fact that there's the sentry there. Been a nice little injection of gold, more importantly experience for Q, but he's going to look to soak up that XP anyway, playing around the top side. That's just playing bottom though, just the 2 points in the Diabolic Edict, but they want to try and take the tower, open up the map for the TB.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Should be able to.
Radiant's
See, as soon as
bottom
Toby gets his
tower
6,
is under
Savage has to
attack.
step back into the jungle. He is under a ward and he's relatively low health, but Entity just going to continue to try and play behind Toby. Without Stormstormer here, though, their push is a lot weaker than what Talon's is.
I think Talon are incredibly happy if they're able to claim this one, but right now Makoto, he's prioritizing his farm. Actually looking to make the
Savage?
defense up here.
Yeah, top lane, Sunder's out. Here come the TPs. Q's gonna try and enter as well. They'll need
Lucky
the Fissure
bounce.
to hold back Toby for the moment. Instead, they'll try and catch up the Fishman, but not the case. There's a lot of reaction stops, so instantly mid lane. Pure and Stormstorm are trying to do some damage into the T1 tower.
got the
They'll
ulti as well.
aggressively glyph as well.
So I think Makoto might have the confidence to walk on in, just understanding that the Dawnbreaker, she's reached that level 6. All that extra movement speed isn't going to enable that. The Grave Chill being used by Stormstormer to get away from Makoto. But
lane
they still-
Savage.
They protect.
Oh, the cold feet proc, jump in from Toby, now with the turnaround, they know he committed into the middle. They need a lucky bounce, but the Ancient Apparition's going to be able to separate, but it does not matter. All they needed was one stun to get the kill. Now bottom lane as well. Pure's going to make the attempt onto KP. Kataomi might be able to get some distance. KP attempts the ultimate, but stopped just short. Thanks to the Storm Hammer, great rotation with Sven being able to combine with the Pudge.
And not able to use the Starbreaker as well to be able to get away. So again, more great movements. Kataomi being the MVP so far this game with the amount of protection he was able to provide for Pudge. A lot of this great vision to be able to scout him out and give him that early net worth lead that he's going to need. Right now he's sitting behind, but there's a couple of waves and kills that he's been able to claim all on the back of this Sven.
This Talon, though, found 2 towers, top and bottom, to their name, and still Entity yet to find their first objective of the game. So what are they waiting for here from Radiant? What are the items they need to potentially ball up and try and find that objective?
I think Stormstormer might have one of them coming out to him, which is the drums. Again, you're playing alongside this Sven, right? So you just want to be able to clump up and go. Just lacking a little bit on the mana front, so Stormstormer pops the clarity and will look to try and fix the lane. And Pure, even though he still has multiple components left until that Aghanims is up, they're going to go for the smoke. They just want the pick off into the objective, especially if someone's going to TP in here underneath the Observer Ward. Though, Talon
Wrap
Observer
around both
Ward.
sides. Stormstormer just gets out of danger. They might be
They're
eyeing
picking
up Savage, though.
Yeah. Can they land
The
the hook?
wraparound, oh, beautiful hook from Pure, sets up for the Ice Blast perfectly. A Fissure too late to disrupt the Dismember, and now this is the opening that Entity been waiting for.
And instantly just popping that first drum charge, understanding that, look, we could use all A, but they're going to be for high quality objectives. It's going to get us closer to those secondary timings, and by the time they're all expired, we'll have the boots of bearing. We just want to keep running on forward.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Are scanning.
Being a little bit
See what they
passive
can
right
get-
now on Talon.
Yeah. So what can they get out of the map with this now? Because you know more than likely Entity, the next kind of play is to move to top. So Q's slowly trying to work towards the Blink Dagger. Savage going to try and shove out bot as well, but they won't have an opportunity to try and trade the map. So just up to them to try and get slowly towards these next set of items.
Hyde ran now. Just doing his job, standing between where all of Entity were looking to play as well as Savage. Looking to try and catch out any of these ganks that are coming through. Not wanting to necessarily shove in that bottom lane too far because Savage does need to still have the lane.
Stormstormer, this is a big pickoff.
It would be.
Q's going to move in. A lot of commitment out of the ultimates, but they'll be rewarded as Talon. Now it can look to clean up some of the familiars as well. One will get away. They'll get a plus 100 gold. Beautiful kill. First death of the game here on Stormstormer's Visage.
Big commitment, right? 3 ultis used for that purpose, but he is the main one putting this tower pressure onto the map. So if you can take him out, well worth expending all those resources. If it goes late, once again, Talon are going to be the ones that are favored and the win probability leaning there right now.
Radiant's
Been a
middle
great
tower
start for the
has
boys
fallen.
on Dire. 3,000 net worth lead. Savage on top with his comfortable Terror Blade.
Radiant's
Going to be
bottom
working into the
tower
Manta
is under
style,
attack.
looks like, as his next item after the Dragon Lance. Still Entity. They are the ones that can now look to get an objective off the map, or even just look to get map control, though. That's the important thing. You know that a lot was used just then for Talon.
Yeah, that's why Toby played so aggressive up top there, shoving in the top lane. You can take the rat hero out of the man, but you can't take... Well, I messed up that statement, but you know what I mean.
It's alright, it's alright. It happens to the best of us.
It's a fast witch doctor.
I don't know about this.
That's not fast
Pure
enough.
was just... Yeah, no, maybe not fast enough. Pure was just like baiting his life. Katsuomi and Fishman combination. You love to see it. These two supports starting to Ice Blast. I mean, the rotations we saw out of them in game one, just the synergy, the chemistry these two have is incredible, and we're seeing it once again now.
Makoto's nearly got the Bloodstone, though. He actually has it right now if they were wanting to be able to make a kill attempt, but all of his attention given up top there, potentially being able to try and get a kill onto Toby, but he's able to back off in time. Can they look to do something with this? Q. Just the arcane boots right now, not even the magic stick, to be able to make some movements happen. He would love to be able to catch out one of these observer wards that placed around the map just for that gold injection, and he's going to do just that. Underneath the observer ward, the gold bounty given through as well. So nice little benefit being given over to Q. They got to try and create a little bit of space for him to farm as well, though.
That they do. Love to have this Blink Dagger on Q. Give the Earthshaker a little bit of farm to be that counter initiator. But Entity, they're doing the same thing in regards to their carry. Pure just off from the triangle, farming up some stacks, getting close to the Scepter. Really seems like Entity aren't too worried with the status quo of this game. Once they get this Scepter onto Pure, then they are ready to try and make some plays.
It is still going to come down to that one key engagement, though, isn't it? Just that timing. Once you've got the Aghanim Scepter, once you're starting to work towards it on Stormer as well, just for that pick-off potential, because that's all they want to do on Entity. That is their MO. Initial pick-off into Swarm. That's where it has gotten them that straight passage through the regional qualifiers to TI. Was hoping to get them through to the lower bracket. Found a pick.
Katsuomi, yeah, a bit of a freebie here. Has some boys nearby, but no one really in a position to protect him. It was already a lot of damage at the start, so Entity are going to continue to back up, make sure they don't give away any more free kills. Does at least secure the power rune once again for the Lesh to play with. It is a DD, not the greatest, but at least the refill nonetheless.
He's going to back up, though, on Toby, walking underneath this vision on the Radiant Ancients area. The thing is, though, with Hyde, with all these kills that he's been able to snipe, he's 3-3-2. So he's been able to finish up that Voodoo Switcheroo Aghanim Shard pretty close to immediately after it hit that 15-minute timing. So a good amount of damage coming through. And again, we were mentioning before the strength of the Maledict against these beefy heroes. Well, he's got it maxed out.
They're grouping up like they want to smoke here from Entity. Looks like they will not wait for Toby's BKB. 700 gold, too far away from them. What's the objective? Where would they like to try and take a fight here with this next play from them?
I'd say top is the easiest place to do it, right? They don't have any vision there right now, but this is always going to be the safest place to be able to take any kind of tower and objectives. KP just able to get away, just because it's so much harder to get that pincer movement in for the counter initiation, which is the strength of Talon's draft right now. And they're getting closer to it as well. 300 gold away from Q from being able to pick that up for himself.
So much riding on this game. One game, Entity away of making it into the playoff stage. I'd love to play in front of a C crowd.
So with Talon, though. I mean, that's the thing
So
that
with
they've been
Talon.
dreaming about for a long time. We've got 2 teams guaranteed, with Boom being able to get that tiebreaker victory, but... You know, they say 3's a charm.
Hyde. They're going to see the Witch Doctor. They might even be able to scout out Makoto. Use of the Voodoo. They're off the mark, but it will not matter. They'll still be able to chase him down and get the kill. But what can this open up out of the map here from Entity? The kill onto the position 5.
Not too much.
Really the greatest.
Yeah, such a low death timer that it's not going to mean all that much. KP not even considering saving the poor Witch Doctor coming through, and, well, even some of the players still having that muscle memory coming through from the previous iteration where the Voodoo only lasted 2 seconds. So we just saw a bit of an early throw out of the hook there. It happens. But there we go.
See the
Wraith Pact, Blink Dagger on Q, Witch Doctor ready to respawn. Makoto as well, I think, because... Oh, he's got a Blink Dagger himself. They just want to close in onto the backlines, try and take out this Ancient Apparition or the Visage. They'd be the prime targets. Got to fix the lanes first, though. I don't think Savage is going to be part of this. I think he needs to just continue showing on the lane.
Fresh meat.
Does seem like he wants to fight, though, going this Hurricane Pike build on Savage. So he's going to group up with the smoke.
Storm's going
Entity
to pop
counter
it
smoke
first.
themselves as well. Q's ready.
Oh,
Can
no!
he find the opening? Oh no, the echo from Makoto. Into the middle, trying to get the damage out. He's going to be cautious though, but the Ice Blast connecting. And now the hook back as well. Can they protect the left track? The Solar Guardian comes out too late. As Entity, they'll Delta split away. Topi's eyes are
found
for the
Stormstormer.
moment, but it looks like Stormstormer, he's the one that's in trouble. Pure's going to look to re-enter the fight, trying to get onto 23 Savage, but the fissure holds them back. As Talon, even though the Echo Slam didn't go their way, even though Makoto went down to Star, they will still get 3 members from Entity.
I'm not sure what happened there. Did he get hit by the familiars once? They were standing in position to be able to do it, or it might have just been some of those nervous fingers, the sweaty fingers on the mouse. I know mine are at the moment, so I can't imagine what Q's situation was going to be. Yeah, I think they did. They did. Very nice micro coming out there from Stormstormer, but again, you hit 3 big timings. I mean, they even hit the Ice Blast as well, so that Solar Guardian wasn't going to do anything. For another solo pick off there with the Maledict, with the Voodoo Switcheroo, but still weren't able to claim it. Kodo, he's got the regen rune to be able to play around with now, so it's not too often that you see an Earthshaker draft want to up the tempo as much as Talon do right now, but they understand that this is a point where they're feeling quite strong.
It's going to be a nice opening here from Entity. Q's nearby to protect him with the fissure. They're trying to split away and just poke from afar. Maybe the Ice Blast will do the work, because there's nothing Hyde can do. Should end up ticking down.
Switcheroo in 1 second.
Ooh, very nice, okay. So it reveals the position of the ward on the higher ground, or the lane's in a good position of the net worth lead, continuing to go for Talon. That was a really big timing for Entity. You had this Scepter on Pure. I do not, potentially that was the first...
on Toby, I don't think.
Okay, yeah, that was, I was just going to ask.
Yeah.
Maybe you used it just before when they tried to go for that solo kill on him?
Yeah.
Top lane, Fishman, freebie for Makoto. Even KP nearby just in case some more points show up from Entity. Okay, not a freebie, never mind. Love to see it for the neutral creep. So, again, Entity with a 7,000 deficit. Do you feel like they need to wait for Pure's BKB? Because a lot of spell damage is coming out from Talon's lineup.
It is indeed, and not just the spell damage, but also the regeneration coming through, right? If you're not hitting with that Pulse Nova with any damage, both of Makoto and Pure want to be in the same areas of these team fights, right? Of course, you'd love to be able to get some right clicks off and some spells on Makoto, but as long as you got the Edict and the Pulse Nova and the Bloodstone running, you're fine with the state of affairs. So if you could just turn that around so that at least the Pulse Nova isn't hitting, then you're going to be able to have a lot more potential to be able to take out this Leshrac.
Are scanning.
Lead though continuing to grow, and the man that everyone has their eyes on, Savage, is continuing to free farm as well. There's enough almost for that second ultimate orb. Looks like he's going to be going to the Scardy, however, and this is a big item to deal with the Pudge. One item we were mentioning in particular and how you can address this here, and once the TB gets this, it's a great timing in this matchup.
I mean, they're basically doing what Entity did to them last time around just because of this Terrorblade, right? Push in multiple lanes, punish this lineup that wants to group up together, and then just go as a full 5. All of your movements are going to be so telegraphed if you've just got creeps hitting into your towers consistently. What it also does is it gives time for Q to get his farm. The first Echo Slam wasn't on the mark because of some great micro from Stormstormer, but he's going to have that Aghanim Shard up in 200 gold as well.
That he is, and also very close to the level 15, so more than likely going to go down to that minus armor. So if you win a team fight, objectives can get a lot easier to claim as well.
Yeah, Stormstormer's got it, and he's going into the AC immediately after. It's actually kind of crazy how one team fight completely changes the outcome of this game, right? Talon get a victory, maybe they take a tier 2 tower, they set up more control around the Radiant jungle, they get Savage to be more and more farmed because he's starting to accelerate away from all of these Entity heroes. But Entity, a single team fight victory, you could just burst down a lane, maybe even go into Roshan to get that secondary life for yourself.
Yeah, and that team fight victory is really going to be set up off the back of Stormer trying to find the Earthshaker in the back line.
Might have been
if
a
you can
double
try
smoke there coming through. Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like Visage, you got to try and target down this Earthshaker. If you can take Q out of the equation, love to see that. Potentially even the Witch Doctor as well. Low priority on Hides here. Definitely Q needs to be the man that's killed off, and well, he's leading the charge. A blind blink onto the high ground. Toby's got great positioning. A BKB hook as well. In fact, he wants to jump in. Toby's ready to take the team fight. Q's going to charge in as well as Hyde's in trouble. There's both support just going down to start the fight. But they're not going just yet as KB enters off the back of the Solar Guardian, but it's not the fight they were hoping for. Although Makoto with the cleanup is also jumping in, but one by one is Talon just going in mindlessly. They don't have all 5 members nearby to turn it around. It's now Savage. He's on the run. He needs the boys. He needs some way to keep himself alive. And with a buyback, will be a deterrent. Entity will start to back up, and that's a big victory for Radiant.
I mean, yeah, they even used the Metamorphosis for that. They really want to try and desperately get this pick off. They've still got the ward to play around, and that's what Q is walking up towards, but it's going to be underneath the vision. So they're going to have to back off entirely, and, well, big win coming through from Entity. 2 buybacks being used only on supports, but now, once again, with the Silent as the Grave picked up, yeah, he's looking to go for those single pickoffs, particularly onto those supports, just so that you can guarantee the Roche pit for yourselves. Q would be a great target for them right now.
Yeah, this game is wide open now. Like, you get a kill onto a support, all of a sudden that's Roshan. You can just start to walk it down with some of the early game items that we're about to hit. It was just very awkward for Talon. I mean, you don't get the greatest initiation, then you try and jump in to protect Hyde. It felt like they were in 2 minds trying to take that team fight.
They see them walk into Roche. They get rid of the Observer Ward, but this is it. Do they want to contest this on Talon? They've got the Earthshaker, they've got the ways to be able to make that big jump happen, but seems like they're still playing a little bit scared, wanting to play the lane game a little bit more. Makoto shoving it out, as well as Savage on the bottom side. They forced out the Glyph previously, so maybe they're thinking that even if this Roche goes down, they're going to need to play a little bit more defensively to address the situation with the lanes.
Oh, Pure Ages, level 18 as well.
Oh, they've got the consistent damage, though, with the Bloodstone. If you're able to get that, even giving the DD rune over to Savage here through the bottle. So they've got the potential to be able to fight. KP's just going to do his best to try and shove this one out. Can't go too far forward, though. The stun!
Oh. Ooh, that's a weird timing. They're trying to
Pure's
still
got blink.
Katomi? I'll be able to catch up to him. Pure can fall up as well. The creep might just get in the way. Oh, no. Oh, Pure still goes in for it. They've got the Ice Blast follow-up. People are starting to rotate back. KP's going to play off the back of the magic immunity. That might be enough to get him out. Yeah, looks like it's the case.
They'll still get the tier 2 tower, though. It's a tier 2 for a tier 2. Bottom lane being taken at the time. Makoto taking away Radiant Outpost. Just looking to play that little bit more within the jungle. Stacking up the creeps, trying to get that little bit of an extra damage boost through some of those tier 3 items. Psychic Headband, not too bad for an Earthshaker to be able to pick up. Just playing a little bit more from range. Make sure he's not the one picked off at the start of these fights, and I feel like the play and the call is to never let Q go first on the Earthshaker again. Makoto, once he gets the BKB, that's going to be his main role, create that havoc.
Create the havoc and allow KP to act as a counter initiator. Or that's where also Q can come into play. You are not the ones that want to be starting the fights. You want Entity to group up. Put themselves in a position when you can then spellcast freely.
I do kind of want KP to go a Blink Dagger as well. Just get it onto the front lines, layer out that Mage Slayer, reduce the damage for 6 seconds, and that's all the time that Alesh needs to have that big impact. He's got the Blink, how quick is he on the fingers?
Whoa, but the hook from Pure in the choke point. Q. Yo, they got him. Oh no. Beautiful hook from Pure. That's 70 seconds without the Earthshaker. That's some objectives now.
Doing their best to try and fix the lanes again. Makoto just making that movement up towards the top side. Might even consider taking back this outpost just so they don't have that instant close in. But mid lane, be able to try and cut it on Pure, maybe catching someone that's setting up for that purpose. And, well, they've been spamming out the use of the drums. There's those boots of bearing I was talking about before as well. So even some of the slows coming through from the reflection, from the Celestial Hammer, not going to be quite as impactful for disrupting this lineup that, again, just wants to consistently run at you.
His net worth lead is slowly being cut down here for an Entity. What was up to almost 10,000 gold for Talon is now down to 5k. This Aegis has given them a lot here for Entity, and they still have just under 2 minutes of the second life to play with.
They just resummoned the familiars as well on Stormstormer. He reached level 18, but I believe it was scouted out by the Terrorblade if Savage was watching down on the bottom side of the map. So Stormstormer would be a massive pick-off here. Has the buyback, but would be giving back the gem. Would mean that you're not going to have those secondary familiars even if he does make the buyback.
Radiant's top tower.
They're looking for an individual pick-off here. He wants to burst someone from 100 to 0. Not going to find anyone. Even KP just playing in the Radiant Triangle, realizing that this is not where Entity want to be right now. They want some value out of this Aegis. They've only got a minute left. They'll probably get the tier 1 tower for it. Sorry, tier 2 tower. I think they're happy enough to make that trade. Ooh, Pure. You kind of choked in here. Expected the blink. You have to admire that play.
Jesus Christ, you Mako to the balls on him not to blink away, just stay there. How many people would have tried to blink further into the tree line? Who knows if the hook connects, but the fact that he just stays there and no one else from Entity we're also trying to wrap around. Oh,
ice in his veins, man.
And you got to be like that when a game like this, when the tournament stakes are on the line. But a young player like Mikoto who's never been at TI is always a big reason of why Talon been able to take games.
Honestly, any of his teams, you know, back on the old Boom, the full Indonesian stack, it was him solo carrying a lot of these games. He's level 18 now, so 3 points into the Pulse Nova. They're going to try and time out this Aegis with their initiation perfectly. Stormstormer, he doesn't have the Aegis.
Yeah, they know that Pure is down near the Ancients, so they're completely isolated. No one's playing behind Stormstormer and Talon. Great read from there, just jumping, getting rid of the Visage, recognizing that no one was playing behind him as Entity was split as a team.
Gem retrieved as well, so they can start to get a little bit more of that map control out. KP's the one holding on to it right now. Needs to be checking a lot of those high ground areas. Hyde actually has one too, so probably toss one back in the base.
Double gem for both thighs, double the power. Mikoto? BKB's out. Fisher as well to the shot, but he's going to be blocked into the middle. Toby's going to try and clean in with the finishing blow, and he's got the damage required. The hook as well again for Pure, dragging KP back, but look at the respect. As soon as Savage shows up, Entity hesitant about continuing on with the team fight. They're going to turn and blow up Kataomi. Now Pure might be the one that's in trouble. Still confident with standing his ground. Pure just jumps in. This man doesn't give a damn. Straight onto Q's location. And Savage is out of Metamorphosis duration as well. Turns with the Sunder. Can they get the finishing blow? They finally deal with Pure's Pudge. And now they can go for the remaining forces. But Entity have enough time to back up. Fishman and Toby out of danger.
He was so far forward though. Toby actually claiming up that double damage. I'm sure Stormstormer would have loved to be able to pick up that one. Still trying to play around this Silent as the Grave, but Talon, for the most part, they are clumping together a fair amount. Look at all that damage. Nearly 8.4k just done by that AoE rot. Caught solo, I mean, they needed to interrupt the Dismember, but, well, don't really want to get caught in harm's way like that. I thought he would have been able to Ogre Seal Totem away, but it still had about 12 seconds left on the cooldown, looking to make that aggressive play first. I always laugh whenever I see Kataomi pop the God Strength on the support spin, like that's going to do much. What a great turnaround.
Just look at this Sven go to work. Just farming. Just chilling. Scary team fight though for Talon to take. Pure is a goddamn beast on this Pudge. We've seen him had so much success. He's going to be going to the Refresher Orb next item as well, so you will now need some way to deal with the Dismember. No spells are going to be able to do it. Potentially Lotus needs to be the result. Maybe even a 4-star just to get out of the rot range and disrupt the potential Ice Blast follow-up as well.
Familiar's killed off. That's a bit of a big kill. Storm is going to have to retreat back. Still 10 seconds only for him to have them back online, and they're going to instantly go for a smoke here, not under any kind of Radiant Vision, and I love the itemization from Savage. He's gone into the Daedalus, so we know how tanky Pudge is.
Fight. Smoke's gonna pop. Pure gets a jump.
Oh, the Maledict's too late.
To Q he goes, trying to take the Earthshaker out of the fight. He'll turn to now address the Terrorblade issue as well, as Toby's gonna follow in pursuit. But they haven't got the damage for Savage at the moment. Opportunity for the Sun to turn it around. It's a Death Ward. Secures the kill into Pure, but simultaneously TB will take his spill. Do they have the damage now to deal with Makoto as well? Toby's attempting, but Makoto stands his ground off the back of the Blood Zone. He's able to get out, but can the rest of Entity live? Katomi and Storm Summer once again out to the left side, and they will be okay.
So back and forth, these fights, man. Honestly, that was so close to going even further in Talon's favor. If we're able to have a look at the replay, Hyde was just a split second too slow on the Maledict. I think he opted to go for the stun first instead, and it meant that you were able to get off that BKB on Pure's Pudge, meaning that he wasn't taking all of that Maledict damage at the start of the team fight. Gotta make sure you're quick on the fingers there. It really does change the outcome of a game. Yeah, here we go. Have a look at Hyde. He looks to get the start off instead, but if he just uses Maledict immediately, BKB, if you pop it after the fact, doesn't change the amount of damage that gets ticked over time. So, very big that they were able to claim that kill just with the tip of the Death Ward, but they were still able to turn it around, so they're not going to lose too much map control on Entity.
Yep. Both cores almost going down. Makoto almost dying.
Big smiles.
Savage just getting the Sunder. Yeah, big smiles. You got a 10,000 net worth lead, but really this game is just so goddamn close.
And we still haven't seen that big Echo Slam, right? That team fight changing Echo. Great one for picking off Stormer. Yeah.
Oh, but they're going to see him first. Vortex stops the blink, and the rest of the team will charge up the higher ground as Toby even playing with the BKB just to enable the kill. Roche is up as well. You might have to buy back.
Oh, they even used the BKB on KP as well. So they're not going to have that for this fight. And yep, straight into the Roche pit. All of that minus armor coming through from the Visage Familiars, even popping the Unleash. Such an amazing ability. The Aghanim Shard on the AA for being able to interrupt those Blink Daggers. As soon as that smoke popped. Getting a little bit lucky with the positioning for sure. But immediately afterwards, just placing down the Observer Ward and being able to back away. DD at bottom. Pure's going to pick it up. This smoke's not going to connect.
They gave the Ag Shard as well to Pure. So we got the Smember save.
Yeah. I think wanting to save Stormer. He is such a big portion of the damage output.
Not a lot in it is this game too. They're going to make an attempt on Pure. You'll sort of see the TP. Although the fish is going to come out too fast before the reactions. Q in with the Echo as well, but Pure is okay. Thanks to Kataomi. And he's going to protect a fellow brother as well as Entity. Get out of danger. And they're TPing in. Look at the outburst Fishman. He's going to get brought down. At least gets the Ice Boss off before he dies, but they're on to Savage before the BKB. The chain control is going to be perfect. They hold the Stormhammer into the last second. And now Pure can look to go for some more members as well, as Talon just need to get out, but Makoto's in trouble. There's going to be no escaping here for the Leshak. He's just going to hope he can take some of the Entity members into the grave along with him. And Fish should help out for the moment. The Bloodstone active as well, but it's just not enough damage. Without other people nearby on Talon, they might even get Q as well. In the lane, Q. Is it okay from Pure? Is he going to go?
Oh, no way!
Oh my god! Pure, what are you doing to them? Oh, this man's punch is so nutty.
Pure carnage, that's what it is. Man, just another... Ooh, what a performance coming through from this young man. He wants to be on the big stage. He wants to keep his spot at TI. And again, the damage output coming through from him is just phenomenal.
Holy. 10, 3, and 10 on Pure's punch.
And that hook accuracy, nearly every second hook landing. pretty damn solid. Keeping the lanes pushed in, letting the creeps do the work on the bottom side, and testing for the buybacks as well.
It doesn't matter though. When Savage respawns, he doesn't have meta. This is probably a full set. You could stick around potentially for more.
Will they though?
Oh, respect? Never mind. Never mind. We back up. We chill. We chill.
Even just there in that team fight, right? They don't find that perfect initiation. They don't wait for the full lineup to join in and hide throughout all this. I know he gets clipped by the Ice Blast, but didn't have the Voodoo Restoration going. Maybe that would have enabled Mikoto to survive just that couple of extra seconds, give a little bit more impact into the team fight. They're fighting under some pretty decent vision, but when it comes down to it, if you're just getting picked off without being able to use the Sunder to make use out of the hero on your team that's got the majority of the net worth, it's all going to mean nothing.
And we see Talon on itemizing as well into Savage isn't going Lincolns and no one's going Lotus Orb as well against his Dismember, against the Stormhammer. So it really is just going to come down to Savage and his button pressing. If it gets the BKB off fast enough with Pure jumping into the middle.
These players are good enough that
Dire's bottom tower is under
you can't
attack.
just expect them to run into Savage and allow him to press his buttons, right? You've got to make stuff happen that enable him to be able to do that, to cause some chaos, to cause some confusion as well. So Mikoto, he's going into the Scythe of Vice right now. He's got some defensive, of course, with the BKB, the Shivas, the Bloodstone. I wonder if something like a Kaya Sanj wouldn't be a better option, just so that he's not always getting that stun back to back to back, a little bit of that damage amp, and make it so that he is a little bit more of that priority.
I quickly just mention as well that another item, we do actually have KP going into the Lotus, so he has swapped it up a little bit. He also might... Who else have they run into, actually? Hyde? Easy kill for Pure to find. And if Stormstorm and Micro's in the tree line, he might find KP, but Dawn's going to try and TP out. So Entity just sweeping across the map.
Oh, and a double
Trying to
damage.
address some of the lane issues they have. Toby's got a DD now as well to work with, along with a Daedalus that he picked up a couple of minutes ago. So this Marcy is going to do a ridiculous amount of damage.
Savage right now, just holding on to the buyback. He'll get it after this creep wave, but does he choose to go into this Blink Dagger? Basically doesn't want to drop any of these items, though, so I would completely understand if he just wanted to hold everything for now, wait for the right team fight, play a little bit more aggressively so that if he does get picked off, at least he'll have that secondary life. But they'll back off in time, and once again, looking to go for a smoke after this creep wave gets cleared out with the double creeps. Well, Aegis is gone. So can they look to make something out of this? They're going to need to do it soon because Pure's closing in on that level 25. Might even have it by the time they reach him.
Isn't speaking about some levels as well. Kataomi is got level 20. Somehow the Sven is the same level as the Terrorblader. This is a big talent. Plus 10 Warcry armor. You've also got the Aghanim Shard helping out as well passively. This is going to mitigate a lot of the damage from Savage. Now, it does have the Daedalus to help out a little bit against some of the armor.
Yep,
the Enchanted Quiver as well.
The Assault Cuirass as well, doing a little bit of work for Entity, but, I mean, yeah, exactly what you're saying. It just powers them up so much. Even probably just going to look to provide that sidekick over onto Stormstormer as well to enable those right clicks coming through.
Hold that thought. You got the 25 now on Pudge.
And
So
the
potential
overwhelming
double Dismember. You're just dead through this combo. If Savage gets caught out with double Dismember, he's gone. There's nothing they can do. So they're going to play around their ward. Look at the Visage Familiar scouting them out. Mikoto gets a jump, but it's going to be Pure that's in the middle first. They're trying to play around with the BKB, but it won't be enough to protect Mikoto. It was the right-click damage from Toby. Too much for them to deal with. And now Pure as well. They caught him out. Savage is in trouble. What can they do to keep the Terrorblade alive? He'll somehow make it back to the high gun. Turns it around with the Sunder as well, but it's Savage against the world. They don't have buybacks on Mikoto as well. The TB needs to be the main damage source, and Pure's going to make sure that's not the case. Into the middle he goes, and down goes Savage. A buyback is there, but it will do nothing. As Entity
He's gonna go
will
for
go
more.
for the last component. KP's Dawnbreaker. Can he make it away? He'll just scurry back to the base, but Entity...
Well, I don't know. Fake back. The slow.
Pure again. The looks you wouldn't expect it any other way. Pure has been on point from start to finish this game.
I mean, they're not going to call GG. You can't. This is your elimination game potentially for Talon, but... The mid lane, at least, pushing in fairly healthily. Even the level 25 on Stormstormer as well. So extra familiar to be able to play with when he goes for the resummon. And they can just look to go potentially for the tier 4s as well. Look to close this one out.
Oh. Look how fast it pushed.
Yeah. Buyback might need to be forced here. Q staying all the way back in base. Not wanting to risk getting caught out on his own. There's no point in holding on to the Philosopher's Stone anymore. He needs to play with an active item. Really, they've got to give him too much more value, though. Maybe the Psychic Headband. But you're going to need to do something now.
You gotta go. Throne's gonna be exposed. Surely it'll fall pretty fast. That's an early BKB usage out of Mikoto. And they're gonna hook him into the middle as well. Solid Guardian will force them to split away. Maybe they can isolate the Visage. Stormstorm is still trying to slip out to the southern side. It's a beautiful Ice Blast, and Pure's going to find the opening into the middle again. Onto Savage. He's got to buy it back, but it seems like there's no hope as Pure wants some more members. They've been able to retreat safely on Talon. Q potential with the opening. Fissure onto multiple heroes. Going to force Alpha into the middle, but the Echo only tickles him, and Mikoto will not survive.
They gotta go for Savage.
From Savage, but it will not do enough as Pure's in to celebrate. Down goes Savage. 5-man wipe, and the G's are dropped. Entity will get their revenge, knocking out Talon from the TI-11 main stage, and they will move on to play in front of a C crowd.
The smiles finally coming through from the Entity boys. Able to group up together, relish the fact that they've moved on forward, but heartbreak for many members of the Talon roster. Not going to be able to attend their first main stage TI, and KP missing out again.